We have that Igknight FTK deck that bullied me this weekend. We have some Labyrinth shenanigans. Is that Lyralusc as well? I'm betting 30% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out. More Oz content. Yes, this is the build that anally destroyed me over the weekend here. Thunder of Ruler and Trap Track. Well, actually, Trap Track being able to search for the Thunder of Ruler after you skip your opponent's main phase 1 is actually very beautiful. Against, yeah, I didn't have a ghost of a chance playing against this. It's actually really cool. So I gotta give a shout out here to Donald and to Travis for putting together this. This did finish top 8 out of our event, which, oh man, this is so cool to see. So we have triple copies of Renauld with a 1 copy of Magus. We have 1 copy of Ogier with your 1 Gearfried. We have 1 copy Firefront Lady with your 1 Sublimation Knight. We have 1 copy Squeakers with 1 Bowline. We got triple copies of Crusader, triple copies of Squire, triple copies of Templar, and of course triple copies of the Paladin. Then we have 1 copy of Eka the Flame Buddy. We have triple copies of Ignis Phoenix with 1 Drone Lockbird, your 1 Ash Blossom. Got 2 copies of Durandal with 1 copy of Burning Bamboo Sword. You got 2 Cursed Bamboo Sword with 1 Golden Bamboo Sword. And of course we have 1 Original Bamboo Sword. 1 copy of Rhoda with 1 copy of the Joyusei. 1 copy Called by the Grave with triple Cross of Designator. Got the 1 Caliburn with the 1 Thunder of Ruler, 1 Imperm, and of course 1 copy of Trap Track. Then we got 1 copy of Charles with 1 Roland with 1 Herald. 1 Baguski with 1 copy of Alan. Yes, this actually is how you get to Trap Track to get to the Thunder. We have 1 copy of Soldier of Chaos with, of course, 1 copy of the Saruja, 1 Access Code with 1 Unicorn, 1 Ferocious Flame Swordsman, 1 copy of Avermax, 1 IP, and triple Assault. And then we have 2 Droll Knockbird, 2 Ash, 2 Seer Mode, triple Dark Ruler, 1 Change of Heart, triple Evenly Matched, and 2 copies of Infinite Permanence here, wrapping up the power that is Igknight FTK. Next up we have... Is that Wannabe? Yes, it is. During the end phase, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Excavate cards on the top of your deck equal to the number of your opponent's unused spawn traps. And you can send 1 excavated trap card, but send it to the graveyard during the end phase and place the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. You know, the B in this deck is really cute. And of course, I mean, you got Chaos Angel down here as well. Really, the combination of new stuff that you can cheese your opponent with in Labyrinth is actually quite high. And I think that's actually really nice. So we have 1 copy of Ariana, the Labyrinth Servant. Got 1 copy of the Stove. Got triple copies of Lady Labyrinth with 1 Lord of the Heavenly Prism. Got 1 Lovely Labyrinth with triple copies of the Sphere Mode. Got 1 copy of Wannabe with 1 Labyrinth. You got triple Duality with triple Pot of Prosperity for filtering options. You got 2 Ribble copies of Big Welcome Labyrinth with triple Compulse. You got 2 copies of the Destructive Daruma Cannon with 2 copies of Dimensional Bear. Triple copies of Punishment. Got triple copies of Evenly Matched. Triple Skill of the Drain. 2 Terrors on the Overroot. And we got 1 Trap Trick with 2 copies of Welcome Labyrinth. And of course, I mean, why would you not be playing Bucephalus 2? You got the 1 News Reporter with 1 Lingeribo. You got 1 Link Disciple with 1 copy of Zombiestein. 1 Aggregator. 1 Zeus with 1 Dingrisu. 1 Omega with 1 Chaos Angel. Got 1 Garuda and triple copies of Anintis. And then we have triple Ash Blossom. Triple copies of the Little Turtle, 2 copies of Different Dimension Ground, 2 copies of EEV, 2 copies of the Imperial Iron Wall, and triple copies of Solemn Judgment here, wrapping up, well, quite honestly, some of the most interesting developments out here in terms of the format. I think it's kind of nice to see that Wannabe has found a place out here in Labyrinth, and I think it's going to open up some pretty interesting doors for what players will be able to play here. Next up here, we have Lyralusc with Tri-Brigade. Now, to be perfectly upfront honest with you, when I saw this, that this actually, you know, did well at their event, I was like, really? Like, Lyralusc Brigade has been a very, very quiet deck as of late. It's not like it's been like a crazy deck or anything, but I think it has definitely shown that players are still kind of messing around with some of the innovations out here within the format, and it definitely... I don't know, it opens up some interesting doors. You definitely got to appreciate the fact that F0 down here You know, even though we've gone through a very large amount of power creep throughout the years, this card still remains one of the better accessible boss monsters that you can actually have access to. So, you have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyspring. Got one copy of the DD Crow with triple copies of Droll and Lockbird. Got one copy of the Barrel Canary with one copy of the Celestine Wagtail. And, of course, got triple Cobalt Sparrow with your one Sapphire Swallow. And then, of course, we got triple copies of the little adorable Turquoise Wobbler. Then we got triple Froctol with two Karis. We got, of course, two copies of Kit. Triple copies of Nerval with one Called by the Grape. Two copies of Tenki with triple copies of Bird Call. Got one for one with triple copies of Evenly Matched. Triple Imperm. And one copy of the Revolt. Then we have two copies of Shirag with one copy of Frigid. One copy of Bear Broom with the one Harvest Genjar. And the one Apollosa with the one Double Dragon Lords. One Axis Co with one Utopic Future, one Utopic Future Draco. Two Recital Starling with your one in symbol Blue. One Nightingale. And, of course, one Sky Thunder. And then we have two Gamma Seal with triple Gamma. One Driver with two Dark Roller. We have one Arby's Feather Duster with triple Anti-Scam and triple copies of Dimensional Barrier here. Wrapping up, well, another interesting take on the metagame and what we're kind of continuing to see out here as things snowball more towards interesting. Next up here is Branded Blue Eyes. This is right? Yeah, well, evidently Branded Blue Eyes White Dragon out here doesn't need any of the new support. The deck doesn't really care. I mean, you're still focusing on, like, Blue Eyes. Of course, you get access to Deep Eyes White Dragon here. The entire functionality of this deck is very interesting, I would say. I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun with this, just for what it is. Yeah, the Fawn of Albaz stuff, it can be a little bit expensive, but you have a lot of ideas and things that you can kind of see here kind of flow together and actually work out for you. So we have triple copies of a Looper. We got triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyspring. We got one copy of the Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. Two copies of Jet Dragon with, of course, two copies of Deep Eyes. And then, of course, got triple copies of Dictator AD. Two copies of Fallen of Albaz with triple copies of the White Stone of Ancients. We got triple copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Got triple copies of Branded Fusion with one Branded in Red. One Change of Heart with two Dark Roll no more. Got one Dragon Shrine with your one Foolish Barrel. Two copies of Droplet with one Lightning Storm. One Monster Reborn with triple copies of the Melody of the Awakening Dragon. Two copies of the Ultimate Fusion. Got one copy of Deck Devi, and we also have one copy of Evenly Matched. And then, of course, we have one copy of Lingaribo. One Soldier Chaos with one Spear Dragon. We got one Azure Eyes. We got one Titanic Cloud with two copies of Mirror Jade. We got two copies of Masquerade. One Lubellion with one Blue Eyes Tyrant. One copy of the Twin Burst. One Alternative Ultimate Dragon, and two copies of Albion. Yeah, triple Ghost Spell, triple Nibiru, two Lightning Storm, two Super Poly, two Deck Devi, and of course we have two Evenly Matched, and one copy of Skill Drain here, wrapping up your Blue Eyes White Dragon Albaz deck. And then, of course, you gotta follow it up with more Purrely here. Honestly, whatever combination of, like, sub-engine that you want to include with Purrely here will probably work out. I think that's, like, the one thing I have really enjoyed most about this deck is no matter what engine you kind of include in the deck, you're probably gonna do well. Like, honestly, like, the Dark World package in the deck, I think, you know, for the additional draw, is fine. Like, you pick your additional outs, and you'll be able to get things going, which I think is pretty good. So we have two copies of Ash Blossom and Joyspring. We got one copy of Brow, triple copies of Droll and Lockbird with one Ghost Bell. We got triple copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. We got triple copies of Purrely with two copies of Purrely Lily. We got triple copies of Snow with one Called by the Grape. Two Hadoken with triple copies of My Friend Purrely. Got triple copies of Delicious Memory, triple copies of Happy Memory, triple copies of Pretty Memory. Got triple copies of Little Sleepy Memory. Only play one copy of the Stray Purrely Street. That's interesting. We got two Talents and one copy of Leap. And then down here in the next track, we got one Anima, one Moon with one Donner. We got one Dahark with one and then symbol Blue. Got one Nightingale with two copies of Norn, two copies of Plump, one Happiness, two Beauty, one Downard, and one Zeus. Wrapping up, wow, your chunk of interesting metagame developments out here. And like I said, I'm very happy to see what's kind of being brought to the table here. I think we'll continue to see some interesting stuff out here as well. So what do you guys think? Please comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.